Alright guys, welcome back to Rod Smoking Stuff. Today we're going to be doing a prime rib on the smoker. This is a prime grade prime rib, so that's good. You can also get a choice grade prime rib. We're going to go ahead and get this thing ready to smoke. Now it's the day before I'm going to smoke it, but I want it to dry brine in the fridge overnight. You can do up to 3 days, a week, whatever you think, but I've just found that the dry brining helps to get the flavors into the meat. It helps make the meat a little more moist. So stick around, I'll show you how we do that. Alright guys, so the first thing we want to do is, some people don't, some people cut around the bones, some people cut them off and put them back on. Me personally, I like to just cut the bones off and then I cook them separate because I get bark all around the meat that way. I like having as much bark on there as what I can get. So if you just follow these bones down like so, cut the ribs off of there, you can smoke these with the prime rib and give you something to chew on later while you're cooking. This one's being a little difficult. Could have a little sharper knife, that'd always help. Those little bones right there, I'm trying to cut around those. Usually they don't have those, they must have missed them. Anyway, so that's the rib bones. Like I say, some people tie them back on. I don't, because then I get better bark all the way around the meat. So I like to have them off. One thing I do like to do is, if you look right here, you can see this is a big chunk of fat right here, and rather than leave that on there, I usually just cut this down like this a little bit, because that's not really going to render off. Anything that's loose, you want fat on there, but this stuff's like really hard fat. It's not soft, so it's not going to render down or help with your flavor of the meat at all. So anyway, I'm going to just cut that off. Everything else on this looks pretty good. If you have any just little pieces, you can cut those off because they'll just burn up in the smoker. But you don't need to get too carried away with trimming it. The fat equals flavor, right? Okay, so now we're going to season this thing up. I'm going to go over here and wash my hands. I'll be right back and we'll season it. Alright guys, so we got some of this here W sauce, Worcestershire sauce. We're going to use that for a binder. So we're just going to put some of that on there, plus it'll add some layer of flavor there. Just like that. It should be good. Now I'm going to use a couple different seasonings on this. I have this Montreal steak seasoning. This is, it's not in a Hardcore Carnivore bottle, but it is Hardcore Carnivore steak seasoning. And then I have my coarse ground black pepper. I'm not using any salt because the Montreal steak seasoning and the Hardcore Carnivore have a lot of salt in it, and it would be too salty if we did. So first thing we're going to do is some of this Montreal steak seasoning. You want it on there fairly heavy, about like that. Just get all the sides. Seems like a lot of seasoning, but it's not. It's a big piece of meat and you're not really seasoning the middle of it. When you get a slice of this, you're only getting this much. And only the outside will have seasoning on it. So I hope we miss this side. Alright, next we're going to hit it with some of this coarse ground black pepper. Just a light coating of that, because the Montreal steak seasoning has some pepper in it, but I like a lot of pepper. just like that. And last but not least, hardcore carnivore. If you haven't used this on beef, you should try it. It gives it a really good, nice color and really nice bark on it. I usually put a pretty good layer of that on. Alright, and that's it. We're just going to put this in the refrigerator and we'll let it sit till tomorrow when we're ready to cook it. Alright guys, one more thing. I went ahead and tied this up. I was going to do it before, but I spaced it off. But tie that up, it helps keep everything together as it cooks so it doesn't all fall apart. And I'm going to get this put in the fridge. Stay down. This guy thinks he should be getting a piece of this. Not happening right now. Maybe when it's done. Alright guys, so that's been sitting in the fridge for a day and a half. And we're going to get it on the smoker now. We've got the smoker turned 225 degrees. We're going to cook this to an internal of about 225, 230. Not 230. 125, 130. And then we're gonna pull it off and eat it. So let's get this thing on the smoker. Put it on this way, the thickest end facing the heat source. Get a little snack of ribs on here. Heat probe, put it right in the middle there. Close this thing up and just let it roll for until we get to where we need to be. Probably take about 2.5 to 3 hours. Alright guys, we've hit 130 degrees, which is where I wanted it. It's going to carry over another 5 degrees. I like it a medium rare. I don't like rare. That's just me. You cook yours how you like. We're going to get this off and then we'll cut it up and see how we did. So I'm going to take that inside and I'll just tend it with some foil and I'll let it rest for about for probably 15-20 minutes and then we'll cut it open. Alright guys, this has been sitting resting, so we're going to cut this thing open, see how we did. Get our strings off here. Bark looks good on it. I'm just going to cut it right in the middle, I think. Nice and juicy. Oh yeah, that looks good. Look at that juice in there. Alright, I gotta get a slice off of this. Alright, that's pretty hot still. Right off the top there, that nice tender piece. Oh yeah. That's good meat. That seasoning on the outside is amazing. It's tender as can be. Look at all this juice in here that's coming. Nice and juicy. It's excellent. I suggest you try it this way. If you like what you see, give us a thumbs up, like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And hit the bell so that you get notifications of our future videos. And we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.